Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name is Rick, and I'm an Average Joe. Hey, just info you, if you guys hear background noise, I don't know how loud it's going to be for you guys, but they're doing construction out in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, on the roads, so you guys might hear that. Yes? Yes, just to let you know. Okay, so if you're new here, what we normally look at is basic emergency preparedness, practical preparedness, and rarely talk on the doomsday stuff or worst case scenario. That's the word we're going to use. But it's been a little bit since I made a video because I am busy, and I hope you guys are too. But I'm busy right now because of the weather change. And so, yeah, with that comes lots of stuff. Like my garden, for those of you guys who've been here for a little bit, is I've had to like harvest stuff because we just got some freezes coming in, and once a freeze takes out your stuff, it's done. So you might as well just get what you can and, you know, be sad if it's not everything you wanted. Yes? Yes. Okay, let's start with the basics first. Yes, basic emergency preparedness. If you go online, everybody who's been here a while knows this. If you go online, this is for the new people, and you go to FEMA or ready.gov, you can print out a checklist, which I have right here. I can show you about what the heck I do all the time. A checklist, and it is a good place to start. Yes, I know people are like, oh no, that's the government, whatever. I don't care. So it's a good place to start, and that's what you need to have. So, and touching base, kind of, sort of, let's see how this goes. Doop, doop, doop. One of the things on there is you need to have water. Yes, but now I'm going to combine that with the 5 C's. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll do a video on. I'm sure most of you guys who are into preparedness know what the 5 C's are, but maybe we'll go over it one day. But one of them is containers, because yes, fluids and other things, but in this case, we're talking about water or fluids, whatever, need to be in containers. 5 C's, by the way, are 5 things that you need to survive out in the wild that aren't very readily found in nature. By the way, that's what they are. So real quick, we're just going to go over a little thing. Containers, yes, when it comes to water. So let me grab some stuff real quick. No, I don't edit my videos very well. If you're new here, if you guys have been here for a while, you know the format. Yes? Yes. So real fast. Look, your container can be just something as simple as this, what it came in. Yes, now you might want something more, but it doesn't matter. It's something that'll carry water. And let's go old school first, yes? Anybody guys know what this is? Huh? Look, it looks very G.I. Joe, doesn't it? That's right, this is actually it's 5 liters. It's kind of like a canteen, but it's not. It's like a water mule, not as big, but it's 5 liters of water. Military, yes? And extra points, do you guys see the little, you see this little Velcro thing right there? There's like a little pocket right there. Anybody knows what that's for? It's usually 2 things, but anybody know what that's for? Anyone? Huh? Okay, I'll tell you. Water purification tablets and salt tablets. That's what that is right there. But I want to show you guys something. It's so funny. By the way, for you guys who've never seen one before, this actually comes with instructions. I love the government, by the way, because you never know. You don't know who's getting this, what branch of the military. That's a joke. If you know, you know. There's no crayons with this. But when you collect water, and it has instructions on collecting water and then purifying it on the container. But if I want to take this off, it's actually in the instructions. Once you get water, but before you put the tabs in, it comes with its own filter. Yes? Do you want to see what you guys from the wild? You're supposed to do this like in rivers and lakes and stuff. Do you guys want to see what the government thinks the military needs for a filter? Are you guys ready? Let me put that over there. Can you see that? That's it. They're like, yeah, that's all you need to filter out. I highly recommend pre-filtering more. Yes? Yes. Now, if you're new here and you're like, what's with the jokes, Rick? It's the way I deal with life. I think you need to keep positive, but that's just me. Yes? You'll get used to it if you hang out for a while. Don't turn your back on the camera, Rick. That's what I do. Okay, next. Now, this is just a collapsible water container. I'm sure you guys have seen these before. Maybe you can pick them up anywhere. I got one that's got a little bit more mill to it, thicker. Some of them are so cheap, guys. Seriously, you like poke them with your finger, you're going to get holes in them and leaks, and that kind of defeats the purpose, yes? Now, I've shown you what I carry in some of my packs and stuff, the metal bottles, and they're usually cheap and cheesy, but you can get more nicer ones. You guys seen these before? Anybody know who this? Yes, Clean Canteen. Info you. These are a little pricey. I've got a couple of them. Oh, look, they come in different sizes too, because you never know who you're prepping for. Yes, but these are really good, and let me explain why. Now, you've seen the old ones that I have shown you before. Obviously, I have these too. I've had these for years. These are the ones that I'm actually using for another bags. It doesn't matter. Anyways, the thing is people always talk about it. I hear them mentioning it, and I do too, is you want single wall. Yes? And these are steel. You can aluminum, there's an argument about aluminum. So these are steel, and these are single wall. But rarely, oh, that's a terrible noise. Do you guys hear that? But rarely people tell you why. And here's why. If I've never done it before, I don't know if I ever have, is one of the things you can use this for, steel, put water in, filter, put on fire. Yes? And so you can boil water in it so that way your water is drinkable. Does that make sense? Single wall. If it's a double wall with a little vacuum seal that keeps your Gatorade when you're out hiking and stuff nice and cold, it will explode. Single wall. Yes? Yes. So in case no one ever told you, or you never read it or got the information anywhere, that's the reason why you want single wall. Double walls, if you go and look at, most of these are double walls for insulation purposes, to keep what's in it cool or hot. The problem is when it heats and it's a vacuum, it'll blow up. So that's the reason. You don't want a grenade. Yes? Yes. So again, I don't know if I've ever mentioned, I know I've mentioned single wall. I don't know if I ever mentioned why you don't want double wall or dual wall, whatever word they use. Yes? Yes. Okay, so there we go. Now we've covered basic emergency preparedness, which is to get water. Maybe we went to practical preparedness or something about having containers, the 5 C's. We touched on one, and I just gave you an example real quick. Info you, I'm out here doing batteries, checking all the batteries in my lighting. You guys know I have lots of flashlights. That's on the list too. That's the reason why I happen to be out here. Yes? All right, so this video is going to go, and it's actually going to go way over here and maybe a little bad. Yes? Let's get into it. Now, somebody might be saying, oh my God, Rick, are you serious? Do you not know what's going on in the world? Why are you talking to us about basic emergency water and little bottles of things to carry your stuff around? You already mentioned your garden once. Why don't you talk about that? Listen, it's not what I do here. Stop moving around. Distracting me. Do you see that? Edit your videos better, Rick. No, not gonna do it. So that's not what I do here. So I found out in my last career, and this is one of the things I learned, is no matter how big something is, everything's made up of little bitty parts. Yes? And just because I make light of a serious situation doesn't mean I take that serious situation lightly. It's how I deal with it. I like to smile and be happy. Again, something I learned in the military. I saw lots of people faced with the same things over and over again, and every single time they got just as upset, just as freaked out, just as like, "Argh!" every single time. And I didn't understand it. I was like, how many times have you been in this situation? You know what I'm saying? Dozens and dozens of times, and you're still freaking out by it. Yes? Yes. It's just every day to me. Does that make any sense? And again, I'm not trying to downplay it, because right now we've got that thing going over with Russia, and we got the thing going over in the Middle East. So Russia, Ukraine, that's in Europe. Middle East, we got the Chinese, Taiwan, and in Southeast Asia. We've got an active shooter. By the way, as of filming this, they still haven't caught that guy. And then I just saw before I came on here, there's another ex or whatever, a law enforcement person, they're barricaded into their house. They just shot their husband, and there's like doom and gloom, and no one escapes it. Like military, first responders, or police officers, or whatever, no one is immune to what's happening. Yes? Yes. Now, I've been shooting videos for a couple years now, and if you go back, way back to my first videos, I was going to talk about preparedness, but one of the things I talked on first was things like mentality, where you had to have your mind to do it. Yes? And finances, big ones on finances, not the little ones that I do now. But if you go back, if you want to watch those, it has to mentality, but also what happens, what you can expect as things go downhill. Yes? It's predictable what's going to happen. So there's going to be more. And now it's a slow roll. I do it like this, like it's going to happen tomorrow, but no, it's a slow, methodical thing, and it's incremental, and people eventually get normalcy bias and they get used to it. But it's going to be violence on all levels. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be robberies and violence, and domestic violence will increase. Drug abuse will increase. Alcohol abuse will increase. Road rage, name it. All these things are just going to keep getting worse. Why, you ask? Because that's what happens. It's human nature. Yes, go to history and you'll find it. And I'm not just, I mean, recent history, but you can go back even further to like untechnological things that have fallen, and you'll still find the same things. The same things happen. As it was going on, their version of alcohol and drugs and violence and all those things just increase. It's just the way it is. So I don't want to sound bad, but just get used to it. Or try not to let it affect you. I know it's difficult because we're all humans and we all have empathy, unless you're a psychopath or something, a sociopath, what the hell ever. So I have feelings, I have empathy, but I can't let it stop me. And I'm not going to be shocked and amazed. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm shocked and amazed. I'm not going to go, oh my God, that happened. Yeah, it happened, and I'm not shocked by it at all. And I feel bad, but yeah. Okay, so as I was saying, every big thing is based on little things. So that's what I do, and I concentrate on. I concentrate on all the little things, and then it works up to something large. Yes? Yes. My opinion, guys, if you want to do it a different way, that's your business. Yes? Yes. But I did see, I haven't seen videos from this big content creator for quite a while. And this was about 4 or 5 days ago, maybe. And I saw their video, and basically their video was this. I kid you not, big content creator, and there's a problem with them is because they escalate and then they can't go any further. But basically he said this: if you haven't started preparing, it's too late for you. You're done. Just give it up. And then it was just doom, gloom, 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 boom, end of video. I was like, holy Moses. Now here's the thing, that was 4 days ago. So you've got 4 days of preparedness since that video was made. You with me? So just because things are bad is not where you just throw your stuff and you're like, it's done. Or you can, that's your choice. I'm not going to, I never will. And I've seen what happens when people do that, and they usually fail. So, but if that's it, if you're overwhelmed right now and you're like, oh my gosh, there's this and there's this and there's this and all this stuff is happening, I just can't take it, I'm done. Okay, I got no issue with that. But you still have the rest of today, you'll probably have tomorrow, you're going to have time, yes? Another content creator said it, I know they didn't coin the phrase, I know I've heard it before, is you'll have time right up until you don't, yes? And since you don't know when that's going to happen, you might as well just keep doing business. Again, my opinion. Yes? All right, let's start off on some stuff. Okay, so garden. Rick, we came here for practical preparedness, not talk about your garden. You're right, this isn't a garden thing. I'm not a garden person. What I do is talk about a bunch of different things that an average person can do. And this is on practical preparedness because there's lots of great reasons that don't have to be worst case scenario or doomsday or whatever to grow a garden. But I'll tell you what, if people are up here like worst case scenario, they're probably going to be growing gardens. So might as well start now, yes? And besides, my food is organic, non-GMO. It's good for you, I don't use pesticides. And you can see the results because my stuff does not look like what you get in the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find that out. If you guys start a garden, and if you guys garden, I'm gonna show you some stuff, and you grow it and you're like, man, this does not look like it does in the store, or on those like commercials on TV when they're like, as soon as we pick this tomato, the timer starts, so it's fresh when it gets to you. Yeah, my stuff doesn't look that good, guys, just so you know. And when you grow it and you're not using GMO and you're not using that chemical fertilizer and you're not using killer bugs and you're not using X, Y, and Z, when you grow natural stuff, I mean, I've seen some sweet videos where they're like, look at how great all this stuff is natural. I've never been able to do it, guys. My stuff looks like, but it's still good though. Okay, quick run through, let's do it. So the zucchini, it got too cold here. So zucchini's done. I have 2 more zucchinis, the smaller ones, because normally they're huge. I've gated that and the plant's gone. And then cantaloupe. I told you I just wanted to see if it would grow. Well, it came up late in the season. The cantaloupes, I had 2 of them, but they were only like this. They were the size of the softball. And they don't ripen once off the vine. So I cut them open and they just had a thin little layer of meat that I actually ate. You know, I wanted to taste it to see if it was, but yeah, I got to plant them a lot sooner here in this zone. A lot sooner, I'll probably have to start them inside if I actually want cantaloupe. But the point being is cantaloupe actually grow here, which I thought was pretty cool. Watermelon, there's 1 watermelon on the vine. Once again, watermelon, when you take it off the vine, it doesn't continue to ripe. And since we had this freeze coming in, it was gonna die, so I cut it off. I sliced that thing in half, boom, no red whatsoever. So I'm gonna have to plant that thing as early as I possibly can. No red meat on the inside. Yes? Yes. All right, next thing we got is corn. The corn's all done. I found out, you know what? I'm almost done with the sweet corn, guys, because sweet corn is too hard to grow unless you do it big and you have lots of water and whatever. But what I'm probably, since normally I just use the corn as decorations for Halloween, you know, the corn stalks, they're all, and they make the noise because they're dried out, and I put it out here in my graveyard in the front yard when the little wind blows, it makes spooky noises. That's what I use it for. And to see if I could grow it. So I'm actually gonna start growing, oh man, I forgot what it's called. Anyways, it's junk corn. So because I'm growing it for decorations, guys, and I've been doing sweet corn for years, if any of you guys have success with sweet corn on small scales, let me know, because I cannot find anywhere where you can do sweet corn on a small scale and actually have it worth your time. Yes? So it's been years. That's my lesson I've learned. I'm gonna grow junk corn just because I use it for decorations, and we're done. Okay, onion patch is doing fantastic. By the way, guys, if you want something, I'm gonna move you a little bit here. If you guys want something that'll make you proud, grow onions, because they just grow. You shake off the seeds. I saved some seeds, so in the spring, they're already growing where the seeds just fell off the onions, because we grow so, it's only a small patch, but we don't use onions that often, and you don't have to after years. Now, my onions are years and years and years old. What I mean is they're seeding and they're growing and they're seeding and they're growing. And some of them have literally been there for years, and they'll just continue to grow, and I haven't harvested them. But the thing is, oh my God, they are flavorful. So you don't need a lot of onion. So, I mean, I'll pull one onion. You only need a teeny little bit to add it to anything, and it is like, whoa, that is onion. You guys picking up what I'm laying down? That's one of the things that's almost better than what you can get in the store is onions, if that's what you're into. So anyways, I collected some seeds. So in the spring, wherever in the onion patch is a little sparse because they just grow where they fall, I'll plant more and just keep it going for years. Okay, next is green beans. All right, I didn't experiment this year. I tried it last year, year before, but I didn't really do it too much. And what it is planting some green beans and then waiting and planting more. So that way when these grow and die, you'll have these, right? Well, I did it like 2 weeks last time, and they almost came up at the same time, a couple years ago, I mean. So this year I planted these, and I waited like 2 months, I think, before I planted more. Okay, InfoU experiment has failed. Let me explain why. If you grow green beans, Rick, really, this isn't a gardening video, gardening channel. Why are you telling all this stuff? Why? Because some people have been here a long time, and I'm actually giving them updates, just like 1 or 2 people, doesn't matter. But the other thing is I'm trying to get it out there. This is my channel, and these are my struggles on my journey to preparedness. Yes, because I know somebody was just sitting there going, green beans, I don't want to hear this, Rick. This is the way. Yes? Yes. Okay, for you guys still here, green beans. Here's the problem, is it doesn't matter when you plant them and then when you plant them. When you plant these, they are going to give you green beans the entire season. It's not going to die. Does that make sense? And it didn't stop, slow down giving green beans. So whatever you're planting, plant it early, and you're going to have it until it freezes. You're just going to keep pulling beans off of it. So this one's never died. Then these ones came up and started again, but then the frost came, and so they stopped. At the same time, these guys stopped. You guys picking up what I'm laying down? So green beans, here's the thing. Plant them as early as you can. Plant as many as you want, I guess. I was eating green beans like every other day, and we were picking them and giving them to people. They were canning them, and I mean, green beans grow like crazy. So, I mean, if you don't like green beans, I don't know what to tell you. But I would cut them up small, throw them in some water. I think I mentioned this before. I would throw in some bacon or some carrots or something and let it simmer for just hours to soften that stuff up. Because again, when you grow stuff at home, it's a lot harder than when you get it from the store. Okay, let me see. What's that? Potatoes. Potatoes, I still haven't harvested yet. I've got a couple that the plants are starting to yellow. Oh my gosh. I've got some that are barely growing over there. But this one place along the house where I have the most success, again, I might have mentioned before, I do not have potato plants. I have potato bushes. They're just going nuts. I have potatoes coming up out of the ground, huge ones. They're like, I'm a potato. So we'll see how that goes. But they're starting to yellow. And what you do is you wait for the plant to die and then you harvest the potatoes. And frost doesn't really affect them because they're underground. it'll kill the plant, in which case I'm going to harvest them. But what I'm talking about is the spuds or tubers or whatever you want to call them. So that still needs to be done. Blueberry bush is starting to lose its leaves because it's that time of the year. Decided strawberries are getting pulled up next year because those ones that are supposed to give you strawberries throughout the year, I'm just going to get the ones that have a fall harvest. Let me see. And then we're over here. Yep. Hold on. Time's up. Sunflower seeds have all done their thing. Now I'm just waiting for them to, they go through a process to where you can get sunflowers out of them. I don't know if I grew them early enough. I planted them late, intentionally, because I saw in a video, they're like, yeah, you can plant these things. And it was like October or September, maybe. Oh, no, August. Anyways, I don't remember when it was, but it said it's late in the season, but you can still plant these with sunflowers. That's why I planted them. But I still don't know if I'm actually going to get seeds out of them. So we'll wait and see. So, and then tomatoes, I had to harvest. Now we had got a couple tomatoes, but I planted tomatoes late and I planted them from seed, which is just what I do. I keep trying stuff because I don't need these tomatoes. But what I need to do is I need to learn how to grow tomatoes. I'm not sure if you guys are picking up what I'm laying down. But hold on, I'm gonna go off screen. No, don't go off screen, Rick. Okay, my minute's almost up. Hold on, I'll get the button and then I'll go off. You guys won't see me. Yes? Yes. Okay, so had a frost came in, yes. So I harvested all the tomatoes that were left. That's it. Now I'm bringing them inside. I'm hoping these are far enough along. I'll put them in a windowsill. So I'm hoping those are far enough along that they'll actually go red. You're with me. They'll actually ripen off the vine. And I don't have any apples and I don't have any bananas, because if you put them next to apples and bananas, they give off this chemical, whatever, and it makes them ripen. And then I have a whole bunch of these. Now these look a little better. What do you guys think? Those almost look like bell peppers, don't they? Yes. So, and again, they'll ripen off the vine. And I got a ton of those of different sizes. And now the plants are all done. I got to go cut them up and pull them out, and we'll just be finished. But look, it almost looks like a bell pepper. Yes, yes, I did that. Okay, things I learned when I was this years old. Did you know green bell peppers? Did you know your green bell peppers are probably not actually green. All colored, the colored ones, the ones that are red and they got orange and yellow. Apparently there's a purple one, which I've never seen before. Did you know they all look like this? Until the very, very, very end. That's when they change colors. The reason why you get green ones is because you harvest them early for the big companies. It makes more money for them. Does that make sense? So yeah, your green bell pepper might not actually be a green bell pepper, but I just found that out. And not all of mine are green. So I'm letting them ripen, seeing if they're gonna change color. They probably won't though, because they're supposed to change color just a little bit before you snap them off, and didn't have time because the frost came in. Yes. So all this cool stuff you guys are learning because I learned it, and somebody's like, Rick, this is not cool. I don't care about that. You know what? Somebody does. Yes. Yes. Okay. And last thing on the garden, and somebody's like, oh, thank God it's the last thing. Anyways, carrots. So I pulled up all the carrots, and this is what I found out. This is another thing I learned this year. I thought I knew this, but it was validated. Is when you're planting carrots, when they're really small, have you guys ever seen them? They grow all next to each other. I painstakingly went out there and pulled them out. You know what I'm saying? To separate them, to give them room. Listen to me very carefully. Give your carrots room, okay? There was some carrots, I had them well spaced out. Some of them I didn't, because it just got tedious pulling the little carrots, thinning them out. That's what I'm talking about. But man, where I had given them enough room, I had a carrot. It looked like a cucumber. It was huge carrots. Oh, excuse me. So I got this huge harvest of carrots. So, and that's another thing. If you don't know why you need to can, let's take carrots. You get them all at one time. You ain't eating them all at one time. And since I haven't gotten to canning yet, I gave them to somebody who's canning them. Yes? Yes, because there's other people that are. All right, so that's it for the garden. Let me see if we can move on, because I know people like to go like this. I've seen the other channels. People want, way over here, worst case scenario, we need to be talking about the end of the world and war. And yeah, that's not what I do. All right, let me see. We talked about eggs. I'm going to take a sip of coffee real quick, guys. We talked about, I actually thought about bringing you guys outside for this. I'm setting up my compost for next year. So all the leaves is one of the things I'm busy. I have huge trees in my yard. Excuse me. Again, I'm busy. And again, I hope you guys are too. Is I gotta collect the leaves. Oh my goodness gracious. Big trees. So my cold compost and my warm compost, but my cold compost one, I got leaves, put some grass, leaves. Same thing with my hot compost because I gotta get ready for next year. Yes? Yes. All right, what else is going on? We have 3 vehicles here. I've gone over that before. I changed the oil in 2 of them, saving money. You guys didn't think I was going to pass up on something about finance, right? Yes, yes, yes. So I still got my vehicle to do. So oil changes because it's that time. If you can learn how to do your own oil changes, I highly recommend it. It's a good way to collect tools and knowledge over time, tools and knowledge, and it saves you money. It's like way less than half the cost. But I mean, it's you doing it. So it's your labor, it's your time. People argue that all the time. But yeah, so changing oil in cars, shutting down the fans. I told you we got multi-level house. We have fans that suck and blow cold air and warm air out to try to not use the central air. So I've taken those all out and I'm going to take them apart, clean them all up, put them away for next year because you have to maintain your own stuff. Just my recommendation. Yes? Yes. All right, one more thing, and then we'll get into like whatever. It's probably on everyone's mind if you stuck through it. If you're out here looking for preparedness videos or whatever, on a lot of people's minds, and that is doom and gloom and worst case scenario, and oh my God, what do I do? Okay, so, and that is, I should have looked, I didn't, but if I'm not mistaken, for more, I should have looked for more to answer it. But I remember somebody asked a question, I saw it, were about gasoline. In my last video, I talked about that. And so in the comments, and again, I only go in there when I'm gonna load a video or once in a while, so I saw it. And it said, when do you put fuel stabilizer in your gas can? So if you were the one, and I'm gonna answer it I'll type it in their answer, but I figure if one person asks, other people will too. And here's how I store gas long-term. Now I have a few 5-gallon containers that I have out in my shed because I live in suburbia and I have a lawnmower. So that's what it's for. Yes, for my lawnmower. But depending on how much I mow, that gas might not get used. So what do? If I'm gonna use fuel stabilizer, I just put it in because it doesn't do anything wrong to the gas. If you happen to use it beforehand, but if you rotate your gas, you may not need to use a fuel stabilizer. And what I mean by that is if you run it through your mower, but usually what people will do is they have it like on a calendar or whatever. And when that gas has been out there for a while, is they'll go and they'll take it, they'll put it in their car, put the empty container in their car and go get gas. Yes, it's up to you. What I do, me personally, is I'll put fuel stabilizer in there because again, I have a few containers. And then if and when I use it, I add an additive. Let me explain. Now I'm sure somebody's gonna correct me on this, and you can, but I've been doing it for years and I haven't run into any issues. Remember, everything on this channel is my opinion. Yes, I'm not here to teach you. It's like entertainment purposes only or whatever the disclaimers are. But let me give you a case in point. You guys know what this is? Seafoam. By the way, the price of this is going up just like everything else. So I like that product. I don't get anything from it. But I actually have things like that. And there's other things you can get too. There's like mechanic in a bottle. They have these additives if you look for them. But Seafoam, it's simple enough. I got it right here. Is before I put it into my gas, into my lawnmower, I'll actually take and I'll just boop, I'll put like a teaspoon in the gas tank of either like a liquid mechanic or Seafoam or other gas additives like that. And to me, what it seems to be doing is it seems to be taking the old gas, and it kind of sparks it up a little bit. This stuff's really flammable, if you guys understand what I'm saying. And plus it's got other benefits. It's got oils in there that keep it, and it helps keep stuff clean. Yes? Yes. So my recommendation is what I do is if I'm gonna use that old gas, even if it's got gas keeper in it or fuel additives or whatever, to keep it from going bad, is I keep this stuff around, and if I'm adding it to my car, I'll throw in some of this too. Or something else, STP or whatever it is that works for you. Does that make sense? Because that gas been sitting there, I don't know how dirty it is. I don't know what it's gonna do to my car. I don't want it, so you throw that in, you kind of mix the two up together, and yes. My opinion. Yes, and now I'm sure there's some gas car person out there that can correct me if you want. But like I said, I've been doing it for years and I haven't run any problems. So I hope that answers your question about adding the gas stabilizer, when to do it. Yes? Yes. All right, and finally, let's go up here to worst case scenario. There are a lot of terrible things going on in the world right now. But yet at the same time, again, I look at my news feeds and I noticed that there's some people that, although they're referring to it, they're acting like nothing's going, nothing's different. Like the government, they're still sitting there tit for tatting, back for forth. If that person's bad and I'm good, and I'm going to solve all your problems, and that person's, and this guy's like, oh, and this girl's like, oh, I know. And it's the same. What is it, Game of Thrones or whatever? You know what I'm saying? It's the same politics. Now they mention and they like try to say, well, there's all this stuff going on, so you should vote for me more. And I'm doing hand puppets, guys. You like that? And I also noticed it on every level, like the news broadcasters, they're doing the same thing, which I don't understand why this news is doing a story about this news and then this news is doing a story about that news instead of actually just giving you the news. But anyways, my point being is life goes on. And even if it's going like this, crashing down there, life still goes on. And you should too. You should enjoy yourselves. We do. I got the grandkids coming over tonight. We're going to hang out for a couple hours. We went to another one of those pumpkin patch things that, you know, they got the slides and little rides for the kids, fair food. I love fair food. So did another one of those. I think we did 2 of them since that one I talked about before, because grandkids are wonderful to have fun with. So, and I think we went out to dinner again with the neighbors. And did I tell you guys I went to a haunted house? They have a really cool one not that far away. I mean a huge haunted house, guys. Like it's huge. And yeah, do you know why? Because I'm still gonna have fun. And that is my worst case scenario doomsday advice to you. Enjoy each day, because if and when that happens, you know, life's gonna suck. You're with me? So enjoy your time. And I don't mean that flippantly, like if you guys understand the story about what was it, the grasshopper and the ants and the grasshoppers, where he just played all the time and didn't do anything? No. You have to get out there and work. You have to do stuff. You have to get yourself ready. You need to be doing things, basic emergency preparedness, practical preparedness for wherever you are and what you're preparing for. But at the same time, have fun. That cannot just be, your life cannot just be doom and gloom. It cannot just be misery. Go look at some of these other channels out here and you'll see them, and they're just like miserable and brr. And don't get me wrong, they could be acting, but after a while, I don't think so. I think some of them, they've gone down the spiral, which I talked about before, that eventually that happens to a lot of them. Yes? So, my advice, enjoy your life. All right. Oh, man, you know what I was going to do? I was going to, because I don't know if you guys believe me. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? Seriously. This is like a save it for the end of the video. And if you guys stuck around, I'm going to give you something to laugh about. Okay? Because I talk about baking. I was just going to tell you, yeah, I got to go, guys, because I'm getting ready to bake another loaf of bread. The sweet breads, not sweet bread, guys, but the sweet breads. Like I got some more shredded zucchini I'm going to put in there. And it tastes like pumpkin bread or banana bread. It's really good. And I was going to tell you that. But then that reminded me that I was going to tell you guys, I have other baked stuff. And I know somebody's out there is like, Rick, I don't think you actually do that. That's why once in a while I take you guys out and I show you stuff. Like this bell peppers that I actually grew. Somebody's going to say, I saw a sticker on it. You bought that. There's no sticker. I grew that. But yeah, you know what I'm going to do? A special thing just for you sticking around for the rest of this video. I'm going to go get some bakers. I'm going to bring them out here and show them to you guys. Yes? Yes. Okay, if you guys stuck around, my baked stuff, I got it right here for you. Because somebody's going to be like, hey, what do I do with all this oatmeal and sugar and stuff that you're supposed to save for the end of the world? Let me show you some of the stuff. You guys want to see something? And I told you when I bake because I make stuff my way. Yes? Look at the size. This is an oatmeal raisin cookie. Can you guys see how big that is? I mean, my hands aren't that big, but you like that? Oatmeal raisin cookies. I made this, by the way. I made a whole bunch of them. And then by request, this goes back. This is a joke for years. And if you guys want to laugh at this, is fine. By the way, when I upload these videos, there's a thing that says, is this for kids? I push no. So these are my nutty salty balls. Yes? Inside this is, I'm gonna bite one for you here in a second, is peanut butter, and it's walnuts, and it's almonds, and then it's covered in chocolate with a little bit of sea salt. Yes, my nutty, salty bars. And I've got like 3 dozen of these. I just finished these up. Now watch this. I'll show you. See what I'm talking about? Kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Different flavors, way better. And then I've mentioned, sorry guys, you guys can laugh, by the way, right now. It's cool. I mentioned I bake bread. So what I did, and I might have mentioned that it's huge. This is a small, this is a 1.5 pounds. I know it's collapsed, guys. If you want to impress me, bake some bread. So usually I make 2-pound loaves, but I made a 1.5 pound loaf. I don't know if you guys can see how tall that is to a regular thing of bread. And it weighs, give or take, 1.5 pounds. You should see how much the bread weighs that you buy. You know what I mean? And I can cut that as thick as I want, or as thin. You guys with me? Yes. This is the bread I bake. By the way, this was made in a bread machine, just so you know. So the answer is yes, I actually bake. I've mentioned it. I don't know if you guys thought I was kidding. These are just some of the things I've made in the last week. And yes, I am getting ready to go in, and I've got to make some more sweet breads. Not sweet bread, if you guys know what that is. But yeah, because the kids love it. The grandkids love it. I love it too. Toast it up. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Homemade stuff, guys. It's a pain in the butt when you first get started because it's so time consuming. But after a while, you get it down and you figure it out. And yeah, you figure out your recipes on how you want to make stuff. And it's awesome. Yes? Yes. All right, guys, that's just about it. Hopefully, saner minds will prevail, that we have more time before, because that's eventually going to happen. I hope you guys know that. Eventually, the worst case is going to happen. Yes, it could be tomorrow, it could be 100 years from now, it could be a millennia from now, but not the point. Just know it is eventually going to happen. So hopefully we have more time. We can enjoy ourselves. Winter is coming, and hopefully what's going on in Eastern Europe, I can't do anything about. What's going on in the Middle East, I can't do anything about. I mean, stopping it. That's what I'm talking about. Please know there's things I can do to get myself ready, to set myself up for success, and you can too. I'm talking about stopping it. What could potentially be happening in Southeast Asia, there's nothing I can do to stop it. What the things that are going on here in the United States about people going cray-cray, I can't stop it. You guys with me? All you can do is be ready for it. All you can do is to mitigate it. That's it. That's life. That's basic emergency preparedness, practical preparedness, even for doomsday preppers. All they're doing is mitigating. No one is solving these things because we can't. Yes? Ooh, that sounded like a bummer. All right, let's try to bring this up a little bit. Whoop. Okay, guys, that's it for now. I know it's been a while since I had a video, but I'm busy, and I hope you are too. So I hope this finds you well. I hope you are happy. I hope no matter what, please do your best to stay positive. And I hope for whatever you think is coming, you are being prepared.